Thanks for being here, everyone. Okay, I'll start off my piece with a couple of pieces that I learned from my teachers and transition into something more improvisational.
names of this instrument. This is similar to gamelan, but it's not gamelan, is it?
Yes, this is called a kulintang. This is from the southern Philippines, and it exists beyond nation states. So the instrument is called kulintang, and the music tradition is also called kulintang. And an ensemble that is meant to support it in the traditional sense is named after the main instrument. And so it is meant to be played as a group, in a community. Initially, traditionally taught from a grandma to grandchild, and so I come from the Tagalog people, which is not where the instruments are from. The instruments are indigenous to Mindanao, and the tradition that I have studied and continue to study is from the Maguindanao people. And it's important for me to mention that because I am not Maguindanao, and I'm also part of the diaspora, so peoples outside of geographic location. And so those two, I guess, positionalities inform the way that I interact with the instrument. Yeah.
Any other questions?
How did you get started with this, with these traditions and these instruments?
Yeah, thanks. As I said earlier, it's meant to be played with the group and learned from a grandmother traditionally. But because my family moved to Canada when I was in my teens, I didn't get the chance to interact with these other than seeing it in a music room. And so I think, I'm not sure if you could relate to this, but the idea of what it means to be any kind of identity signifier, I think the question surrounding that comes about when you're removed from something that is, on the everyday. So, so once my family was living in Canada, in Toronto, I was starting to ask questions of what it meant to be a Filipino outside of the Philippines. And so I was pretty lucky and got the chance to meet other creatives, artists that are also Filipino in Toronto. And so we learned together. And so our band, the band that I play with, Pantayo, we started learning kulintang together. And so that's where I like to root my practice, is to learning together and also creating together as a jumping off point, and as a means of retrieval also of identity, of memory, and like to create from that point. Yeah.
So when you play with other people, do they all have their own bank of gongs like this, or does one person take sort of the end and the other person takes the other four?
That could be one configuration, because in an ensemble, in a kulintang ensemble, there are also other gong instruments. This is the main instrument of an ensemble, but there's also like a hand drum, which is called the dabakan, two big bass gongs, I would call them, called agong. And then there's also a series of resonant, flat, bossed gongs that are called gandingan. And a gandingan is meant to mimic the sound of human voice. And so it was really interesting when Barry was talking about the different voices earlier, because that is something that is present in Maguindanao kulintang culture. And so the different pieces and the different song modes reflect maybe the cadence of human voice, and also more than human voices like birds and water, and communicating from one village to another. And so, so when I play with people, in Pantayo specifically, rarely on the kulintang, because I am excited about the layers that we create together, and so I'm usually focusing on electronics and a sampled version of the talking gongs, the vendingan, and so I play that on my sample pad. But our collective shifts depending on performance, and so sometimes I am on kulintang, and our next performance in Toronto will be in a couple of weeks. It will be part of Polaris Music Prize and Union Station putting programming together just outside Union Station. And so I will be playing kulintang at that show on June 16th.
Nice. What is this called, and is it part of the ensemble?
No, it is not. So this one, this object, I call it a bowl, but I also call it a bilao. A bilao is a woven basket, basically, that is used to gather harvest. And I fabricated this object out of aluminum sheet, and I hammered it and flanished it on an English wheel to make it a bowl shape, with the intention of creating another musical instrument. But I think at this point, the in-between of the stage of creating this, I was really interested in the different properties and the different voices that are coming out of the instrument. If it's not mic'd or amplified, you probably heard it in the room, it sounds pretty clunky. But I placed a contact mic on the inside, and so I was able to play with the resonance of the object with the contact mic. And with this instrument, and I guess the piece that I played today, patawag sinag is literally translates to recalling light or remembering. Yeah, that's why it was really funny when that happened earlier. And it's meant to recall ancestral cultural memory with the kulintang, and also with rice. So part of my research creation project that I'm doing right now is creating a vocabulary that links my percussive sound making gestures, and also the motions of tending to the land with rice, because both of my grandparents on both sides come from rice farming families. And so I think about rhythm, I think about cyclical nature, I think about how maybe that gesture could connect with how I also tend to my body, how I can connect to the land where I'm on. And at some point of this research creation journey, I really intend to work with Minomen, Indigenous wild rice. So I think in preparation for this performance, I had asked Darren if there's if there's any contact.
That's too bad I had some.
I would love to connect with Minomen farmers and continue this research creation.
Yeah, if I could add to that, I was just thinking, I love your bowl as it is, but I was thinking of local materials and like copper and I would love to see it like involving some local people. So I like the idea of the wild rice a lot. I also really appreciate using the stones.
This is the local representative
from
outside of
NAISA.
NAISA.
It looks very local.
Yes. I was actually thinking of copper as my next material exploration after aluminum and then bronze, because historically kulintang is made of bronze, but because of resource extraction and capitalism and colonialism, the access to these materials have been so stripped out of Indigenous peoples, both in the Philippines and globally, and so it's really, that's why to me it's really important to make the connection and just think of what that vocabulary means to be someone who is on stolen land, and how I can use my voice through these creations to kind of provide a critique, but also as a form of resistance, because these instruments and the music tradition that they are coming from, and the materials themselves, have existed way before me and will exist after me. And so copper, what I've learned from Anishinaabe culture, is also the blood of the earth. It's very sacred, and so to combine copper and rice is it's definitely a check mark that I want to have. Yeah.
As you were talking about that, I was thinking back to the third in Barry Truax's trilogy, and the thing is, I kept thinking, rare earth minerals the whole time I was listening to his piece, and just it's like what we're doing to the land in this quest to get these rare earth minerals, and the whole the reflections on that. So as you're talking about that, that kind of brings it full circle, I think, in this concert.
Yeah, I think that is definitely part of my activism. I feel like as artists we have a voice, and to use that voice to talk about these things, not just not just with the human voice, but also inviting in more than human voices, such as the materials that we're working with, and the instruments, and I think it's also the way that my brain is wired. It's the queering of tradition, but not in a disrespectful way, but in tradition I mean like Western classical tradition.
Right.
So like things from tunings of things, and structures. I think in improvisation and really looking at materials, learning about them, getting to know them as their own beings, it really opens up a whole world for me. And thank you for your questions.
You could say the elemental voices.
Totally. Yeah.
The one element though that I found with Barry's suite, I was thinking, okay, there's earth, there's wind, there's water. Where's fire? So fire was in the last piece in particular, and I heard elements of fire in yours too. So yes, it's been an elemental evening for sure.
I mean to create.
Those are fire.
To create
right.
the instruments, you would need fire, and when I was slamming rice onto to
that
the
was
mic,
sounding
I was kind of tapping into the sound of thunder.
Should have gave you a hot plate.
Start making rice. We'll have fried rice at the end of this. That would be so good.
That sounds good. Well, if there's nothing further, there are other things in town tonight that other people are going to. So why don't we just say thank you, Cat Estacio, for a lovely evening. Barry Truax, if you're still listening, thank you as well. And anyway, hope to see you at the next event that New Adventures in Sound Art puts on as part of the Sound Travels Festival. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you.